Changing just one habit in conversation is enough to make people open up to you in ways they wouldn't even with close friends. And what you need to change isn't what you say, it's how you listen. Most people think they know how to listen. They stay quiet while the other person talks. They nod. They make eye contact. But the person can still feel you're not really there. Today, we'll break down 3 active listening techniques. Stay until the end. We'll cover the one essential condition without which all these methods collapse. Why everyone feels unheard. Think about your last conversation with someone. They were telling you something. Were you listening? Or were you already thinking about what you'd say? Were you watching for a gap to jump in? Most people don't listen. They wait for a pause so they can talk about themselves. Or they immediately leap in with advice. Or they interrupt to tell a similar story from their own life. Someone is talking about their problem, and within 5 seconds you're saying, "Oh, same thing happened to me." What does the person feel? That their words don't matter, that you were just waiting for your turn. So they close off and stop sharing, or the conversation degrades into an exchange of monologues where everyone talks into a void. Which isn't much better. Carl Rogers, the psychologist, worked with people and noticed something strange. When he stopped giving advice and simply listened in a specific way, people found solutions on their own faster than if he had pointed them to the answer himself. Rogers realized the ability to be heard heals. He developed a method centered on active listening. It worked so well that it spread everywhere: therapy, business, education, personal relationships. Active listening consists of specific techniques. Technique 1, name the emotion. Someone tells you something. You listen, then name the emotion you think they're experiencing. A friend talks about a rough day at work. You say, "That sounds exhausting." A colleague describes a failed project. You say, "That must have stung." Your partner shares plans for the future. You say, "I can see you're excited about this." What happens in that moment? The person feels an emotional connection. You understood not just the facts of their story, you understood what they felt inside. The difference is enormous. Hearing "work was rough today" is one thing. Hearing "today was hard for you" hits differently. The second goes deeper. The person also comes to understand themselves better. Sometimes people don't recognize their own emotions until someone names them. You name it, and they're grateful for that. The very fact that you tried to understand their feelings already matters. It shows you care. Don't rush to name emotions right away. Let the person talk for a bit, gather context. Then, when you name the feeling, you'll land closer to the truth. Technique 2, paraphrase in your own words. After someone has said something, paraphrase the gist back in your own words to check whether you understood correctly. A friend says, "I've put so much into this project, but my boss didn't even notice. I feel invisible." Most people immediately give advice. You need to talk to your boss. Instead, you say, "You're working as hard as you can, and nobody's seeing it." What happens? You verify your understanding. Maybe you heard one thing, but the person meant something else. Paraphrase it, they'll correct you. No misunderstandings. The conversation stays on track. The person also feels heard. You weren't just sitting there silently while they talked. You actually listened to the details. That makes someone want to keep talking, to open up more. Even if you get the paraphrase wrong, the person will just clarify. The key is to do it naturally. Don't sound like a robot repeating back instructions. If you usually jump straight to advice when someone shares a problem, leave a like. Technique 3, show that you're listening. Someone is telling you something important. You sit there stone-faced, silent, not reacting. What do they think? That you don't care. That they're talking into a void. People can't read minds. Nod when they say something meaningful. Let your face respond to their words. Surprise, empathy, curiosity. Don't respond the instant someone finishes speaking. Wait a second or two. It shows you're actually thinking about what they said. You might think these nods and uh-huhs are fake, but that's not what this is. You're simply making visible on the outside what you feel on the inside. Without those signals, they don't know you're really listening. When do you start to open up to someone? Think about what they're doing when that happens. Share in the comments. Active listening techniques are tools to express real interest. You can look for something genuinely interesting in every person. Everyone has something unique, a strange hobby, an unusual perspective, a wild story from their past, a hidden talent. When you start approaching conversations with real curiosity, the techniques become easier to use. But on their own, without genuine interest, they're hollow. What can change when you start listening? This way, conversations will go deeper. People may start sharing things they haven't told anyone, fears, dreams, secrets. Relationships can grow stronger. When a person feels safe, they say the most unexpected things. It all starts with stopping being focused on yourself, stopping thinking about how to impress, and starting to notice how fascinating people really are when you truly listen.